Dear students, in previous two lectures, we had studied up counter and down counter as separate devices. But what if we want both of them in a single device? We will modify the circuit in such a way that it works as a as an up counter when required, and when required the same circuit will act as down counter. I'm taking a bit of more space here to introduce additional circuit. The basic fundamental is the same, to use JK flip-flops in toggle state. So it will be the same in this case also. Hope there's nothing new in this, that all the J and K terminals of 3 flip-flops are provided high signal, and the clock signal of first flip-flop, which is negative edge triggered as usual, will be provided the clock pulse, which is to be counted, whose clock cycles are to be counted. Now we have to make a decision that if we want to use them as up counter, we need to feed this output QA to this terminal, and if we want the circuit to be used as a down counter, then QA complemented output should be fed here. So I introduce a additional circuitry which will decide, and an additional signal is provided here, which is fed as direct and as negated also. I connect this is the control signal. I will name it later on. This control signal is fed to this AND gate directly, and in the negated form to the second AND gate. So now outputs of these two AND gates are ORed, and that final output is fed here. Now see what this additional circuitry does. If we provide a high signal here, let us suppose we provide 1 here, this 1 will travel to this AND gate, and this 1 will be negated and will be fed to this gate. So it will before reaching here, it will be negated and it will become 0. So in the first case, when we provide 1 here, one input of this AND gate is 0 and one input of this AND gate is 1. Now AND gate having a 0 input will produce always 0, whatever the output, whatever this output is there. So definitely it will be 0. And AND gate having 1 input as high signal, the second input will be reflected as such. If this is 1, then output will be 1. If this is 0, then output will be 0. So output of this AND gate will be QA, right? Now these inputs are ORed. This is 0 and this is QA. QA may be 0 or 1 as we used to discuss it in the class. So if this is 1, output will be 1. If this is 0, output will be 0. So in fact QA is fed at the clock signal. So what did this circuit does? If we provide 1 here, this QA will be reaching at this terminal, And on the contrary, if we provide 0 here, then this 0 will be transmitted to this terminal, and this 0 will be negated and will be transmitted to this terminal. Now what happens? Input of this AND gate, one input of this AND gate is 0, so its output will be 0 constantly. And input of this AND gate, one input of this AND gate is 1, and the other input is QA complement. So output will be QA complement, and output of this OR gate will be now 0 ORed with QA complement. So if this is 0, it will be 0. If this is 1, this will be 1. So output this time reaching here is QA complement, and this signal will be fed to this terminal. So now in case we provide 0 here, QA complement is reflected at this point. So this terminal will decide whether this signal reaches here or this signal reaches here. And if this signal reaches, this will act as an up counter. And if 0 is provided here, this signal reaches, and this will act as down counter. So this terminal will decide whether this if you want to complete this circuit, the same circuitry is introduced here also. So the same signal, 1 will make this signal reach here, and 0 will make this signal reach here, right? So in nutshell, if we provide 1 here, QA will be fed here, QB will be fed here, and this will act as an up counter. And if we provide 0 here, this QA complement will be fed here. Similarly, QB complement will be fed here. So this circuitry will work as a down counter. So this terminal, because it provides up counting when it is 1 and down counting when it is 0. So for this I put a bar on it, complementing bar on it. So this terminal will control whether this circuitry, it's a 2-in-1 circuit, and this terminal will control whether this works as an up counter or a down counter. With this we have completed asynchronous up and down counters. In the next video we will work on decade counters or so. Thank you very much.